From causing a collision with the race leader whilst being lapped, to crashing with his teammates more times than I can count, Esteban Ocon doesn't exactly have the best reputation on the F1 grid. His on-track performances aren't helped by his innate ability to never take any responsibility for the incidents he causes.
Idiot, Fernando.
But how has this culminated with him putting his F1 career in jeopardy, whilst also becoming one of the most disliked drivers on the grid? It's no secret that most, if not all F1 drivers have some level of ego, but Ocon takes this to the next level. The guy will do anything, and I mean literally anything, to beat his teammates. Where better to look than Jeddah 2022? Now, I'm all for teammates racing, but when your defense looks like
and the
this…
two Alpines going for it! Fernando Alonso almost in the wall!
That's where I draw the line. Seriously, what was Ocon doing? Even after he lost the place to Alonso, he ended up cutting the track not once, but twice to try and gain the position back. All this did was slow both Alpine cars down, allowing Bottas in the Alfa Romeo to catch up. So, surely, Ocon would put up a mighty fight against Bottas. But no, he just let him pass like he didn't even see him. Ocon was at it again at Hungary of the same season. He was starting in P5 with Alonso behind him in P6, and as soon as the lights went out, he made a beeline to block his teammate, completely ignoring the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton behind him. So, thanks to Ocon's ego, Hamilton now had the outside line completely free, meaning both Alpines lost a position before the first corner. And just bear in mind that literally a year before this, at the very same track, Alonso had defended for his life against Hamilton, helping Ocon to secure victory, and this is how he repays the favour. As if having an ego that's bigger than his trophy cabinet wasn't enough, many fans have also pointed out that Ocon has an attitude that only makes these situations worse. Look, I get drivers make mistakes, and in the heat of the moment, they might make poor decisions, but you generally expect most decent drivers to own up, or at least seem remorseful when they cause an accident on track. But apparently, that's too much for Ocon, and I don't think there's a better example of this than the infamous 2018 Brazil incident. Let's just set the scene. Verstappen is leading the race by 2.7 seconds with 27 laps to go. His race pace was strong and it looked like he could bring home the win. Ocon was following the Red Bull on fresh softs, but he was a whole lap behind Max, so surely he wouldn't do anything stupid, right? But no, the Frenchman decided to attack the race leader whilst in P14, and after refusing to back out of the corner, he sent Max spinning off the track. Understandably, Verstappen was furious, as he'd been denied victory by a car a whole lap behind him, and despite the stewards clearly labelling the incident as Ocon's fault, he refused to take any accountability, claiming it was his corner in a post-race interview.
I was side by side to me. I think it was my corner and that was it.
It really is post-race interviews like this that cement Esteban as wholly unlikable to fans. Even at the recent race in Monaco, which is almost 6 years later, Ocon doesn't seem to have grown in any way, still refusing to accept accountability for an incident that was clearly his fault.
Just an unfortunate incident I didn't really review, so yeah, that's it.
Even Alpine team principal Bruno Famin called Ocon's move on Gasly completely out of line. If any Esteban Ocon fans do exist, they must be having a really hard time defending him right now, because situations like this just make him come across as completely delusional. I mean, just take a look at his collision with Alonso in SQ1 of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Fans weren't exactly pleased with Ocon's immediate reaction over the radio.
Idiot, Fernando.
But it was the post-race interview where his delusions really began to show. Esteban pinned all of the blame on Fernando for the crash, again refusing to accept any responsibility.
No steer to the left in the middle of the corner and didn't leave enough space.
Whilst it's true that Fernando could have given Ocon more room, it's also true that Ocon lost control of his car, which ultimately caused the collision. But despite literally being caught in 4K, Esteban still denied that he was at fault at all.
I heard people saying, I lost the car. It's not true.
This seriously had fans questioning just how delusional this guy must be. As you've probably heard by now, after the Monaco incident, Bruno Famin would say that there will be consequences for Ocon and that Alpine would have to make a tough decision. And it looks like this has culminated with him agreeing to leave the team at the end of the season. Whilst the Monaco incident alone won't be the sole reason for Ocon's departure, it's undeniable it will have played a role in announcing it so early. Despite proving himself as a solid point-scoring driver, Ocon will have limited any options for a seat in 2025. His career is overshadowed by his reputation to be overly aggressive with his teammates, causing unnecessary drama that only serves to drag a team down. No top team would tolerate such tension. When it comes at the cost of points week in and out, it's difficult to see why any teams would be queuing up to sign the Frenchman.